All right, and we're recording. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. Welcome to the next round of our coffee break session. This one is actually one probably worth celebrating a little bit because this is episode 100. This is not the second, this is not the third ABC episode. This is actually 100th episode of
No.
our.
It's actually
100 was
101.
last night. This is 101.
Yeah,
I
this
think
was
that.
last week.
There's three. All
Yeah.
right.
But we can celebrate it again, Peter.
Let's
Yeah, we
celebrate
can.
Because you
again.
weren't there.
I weren't there,
It's
so
not the same.
you guys could do me. Yeah, exactly. Just humor me and just celebrate with me again. All right. So this is
You know what? It's your birthday
continuous-
again, Peter. You can have
Oh,
a 21st birthday one more time.
for the last 20 years, I've been celebrating my 21st. All right. So welcome to the 101st session of our coffee break. And as usual, I'll start by opening the floor up to any questions or comments or news you guys want to share with us. If there's anything, let us know.
See some familiar faces here, and also some familiar names because I don't see their faces on the photos. If not, what we can chat about. So, AU is coming. We are what, 2 months away from AU?
Yep. So
Little
that's
bit,
one of the things I
yeah.
had prepared. So exactly, AU is just around the corner. It's going to take place in mid-October. And there's going to be a big presence of Autodesk Platform Services as well. The sessions are now live, so if you guys are interested, if you're maybe considering joining us in San Diego, definitely check out the sessions. So the API classes, you'll find the lists on our blog. And basically, when you head over to the session catalog, you can simply filter by Autodesk Platform Services in the product field. So you see, we got quite a lot of content there. We'll be presenting there different kinds of topics, some stuff about APS with artificial intelligence, some stuff about low code, no code. We know this has been a very popular and heavily demanded topic. So we've got some classes prepared for that as well, as you can see here. Really good content there. So again, if you're considering maybe joining us in San Diego, definitely check out the list and start planning your schedule. And talking about events, one more event that we have coming up, roughly 1 month before AU is our Barcelona Accelerator. I believe we still have some spots available. So again, if you have something in mind, some kind of prototype that you would like to validate with us, or maybe a feature you would like to add to your existing solution with our help, the accelerators are a really good opportunity for that. And again, for those of you who maybe don't know, the APS accelerators are basically week-long events where we typically invite you to one of our offices somewhere around the globe to join us for a week, sit down with us and work on your idea, hack on your idea, again, whether it's a prototype, feature, and basically sit down in a conference room with us so that we can readily answer whatever questions you might have, so that instead of you having to go to Stack Overflow or create a support ticket with us, you can just turn around and say, hey, Peter, I'm wondering what would be the best way to go about implementing this kind of feature. And we can just,
Hey, Peter.
Yes.
If I can't make it to Barcelona and I'm really interested in an idea I've got, is there an option for me? And I'm located in, I don't know, the Americas.
No, not this time.
What?
Oh, what? No, that was, Michael, that was for you specifically, not for you.
Yeah, exactly.
I know, I got that. I wasn't actually, oh my gosh, I was,
So yeah,
So,
we've got these multiple accelerators typically planned ahead. So if Barcelona, or if the location or the date is not working for you, head over to the developer portal to apsautos.com, and then under the community section, you'll find this accelerator page. And that's where we notify about all the upcoming accelerator events. And by the way, sometimes we also do these events virtually. So even though we usually prefer face-to-face, because we see that, you know, those engagements are typically much more effective and they really yield much more, results. We sometimes try and acknowledge that sometimes it might be really tricky for our customers to travel to different locations. So we may also plan again to have a virtual accelerator coming up in the future, where you, instead of actually traveling to one of our offices, you just join us virtually through a custom Slack workspace, and you can work with us that way as well.
got it. So the Barcelona one, this one is not actually, doesn't have a virtual component this time, is that right?
That's correct. I believe this one is
Got it.
on site.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
All right. My team, you guys want to add anything to AU or accelerators?
So the accelerators for the option of the US, we have the Atlanta accelerator, which is going to take place at the end of the year, so December 9th to the 13th. We have an office in Atlanta, so this is where the accelerator is going to be hosted. So definitely, if you guys want to come along and join us for that accelerator, we'll be around in the Atlanta area. Famous for Coca-Cola, I guess. and and the Atlanta Falcons, if you follow football, like NFL football. Yeah, so come and join us and consider attending that one. And then regarding events, I think that's it. No, do we have
Yeah.
anything else?
And if I remember, Jaime, you also mentioned that you already have some plans for some good spots in San Diego. Is that right?
In San Diego, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So if you guys are joining us in San Diego, you may even get some really good recommendations from our foodie master, foodie guru, Jaime. Yeah.
But yeah, come and join us for sure. Okay, do we have any other topic that we want to talk about?
Yeah, let me ask the audience one more time, maybe give some space.
Yeah.
Let me check.
You guys are shy today. No coffee?
Yeah, no coffee. That's a problem. I'm gonna need a refill, Jaime, by the way. I'm thinking when we meet in San Diego, I may need to ask you to
Yeah.
give me a bit of a
Okay, let's go.
I've got a question since we've got some free time here.
Yes.
Yeah, go for it, Tyler.
With the APS.NET SDK,
Yep.
it looks like they're using source generators. Are the source generators in a different file or like a different package somewhere? Project, yeah.
Yes, yeah. So SDKs are actually something I was going to tackle next. So thanks for that question, Tyler. So again, for those of you who haven't noticed, we've recently released a new series of a new set of SDKs, or new versions of Node.js and .NET SDKs. And Tyler, you're absolutely right. These are that SDK is partially auto-generated from OpenAPI specs. We actually, yeah, and the source code for that we do not really expose. I'm not sure. I don't think we're planning to expose it. We have an internal project that is actually used not just by APS for generating our own SDKs, but also by other teams within Autodesk. So it's basically a tool set for generating resilient SDKs that automate things like, retries and circuit breaker patterns, stuff like that. So our our team is now using this internal project to generate these Autodesk Platform Services SDKs for now for .NET and Node.js. But it's not fully automated, right? Some things still need to be manually added on top. Like when you think about it, like, you know, the stuff that's auto-generated from OpenAPI specs will basically have the one-to-one correspondence to what's in the spec. So for things like, for example, if you want to upload a file to OSS, you would still need to go through the same series of requests, right? Like creating an upload URL, uploading your content, then calling another endpoint for completing the upload, and da 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 da. So what we're doing is, what our SDK team is doing, they're auto-generating the exact, you know, one-to-one mapping of SDKs from the OpenAPI specs, and then they're adding some convention, like some little convenience layer on top for simplifying things like, for example, OSS upload, so that instead of you having to, you know, go through this dance of multiple different requests, you can just say something like OSS client.upload, and we will actually handle all the series of requests under the hood for you. So again, if you're a Node.js or .NET developer, definitely check out the latest versions of the SDKs. I think we've the APIs we released cover some of the the model derivative authentication issues, for example, but not OSS. I think that's still planned. That's still on the roadmap. Let me check. If we go to something like NuGet. Okay, so this one actually looks like the OSS has also been released recently, the new version 1.1.1. That was 2 weeks ago.
And so in that, when you're looking at those versions, if you go to the source repository, where is the release information? Is that stored in another?
What do you mean by released information, Tyler?
Yeah, so I'm pulling it up. So the Autodesk OSS version 1.1.0 had an issue, so they created 1.1.1. But where in that GitHub repo does it show that it was that 1.1.1 is the current release?
Oh, okay. Well, I believe you should see that in let me see. In the version here. Well, actually, here is actually 1.1.0, so there's some mismatch. We may need to look into that on our side. But we're basically what the SDK team is planning to do is add a changelog, an auto-generated changelog to every SDK, so that right now you can see we have one at the top level for all the SDKs, right? But we actually want to have this more granular on the individual SDK level, so that you can then go to the changelog and see what the latest version is in the code, and more importantly, what are the changes that that were added, that were made between this version and the previous one.
Right. Okay.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Right. Cool. Let me see. There was one more question in the chat. I have a question about ACC Connect Workato. Are there plans to add more functions to ACC connector assets? Will a two-legged connector be added for admin functions? It's a very good question. I'm not sure.
I don't know much about Workato, to be honest, on my end.
I think this is more, I think the question is on the ACC connector side, whether we support or whether we're planning to support assets. That I don't know.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So assets support is not in the ACC Workato example at the moment.
Okay.
The second question, I'm not completely sure. Also, a two-legged or connector, will a two-legged connector be added to admin functions? Currently using an HTTP connector for two-legged. So you probably noticed that the admin API, ACC admin APIs use a combination of two-legged and three-legged. So you probably need to maybe kind of expand a little bit more on that question. So which two-legged connector are you interested in?
Yeah, I can
So,
use my mic now, so I could
Go for it, Troy. Thanks.
be easier than typing. I had to go somewhere quiet. So we so I work for an Autodesk partner, a reseller, and we build as a service a lot of ACC Connect scripts for our customers. And so when we deliver those, we have to walk them through how to set up their connectors. And the two-legged OAuth, specifically for working like with admin project setup or account members, things like that require the two-legged OAuth. And so we have to walk them through how to create, you know, the HTTP connector in ACC Connect, which is a little bit of hit and miss sometimes, where the connector that's built in for three-legged is very easy. You just sign in with your account, right? And you have access to all the API functionality. So I didn't know if you guys worked with the ACC Connect, the connector, or managed that, or if that's someone else at Autodesk.
Right.
Yeah, it's just to be clear, so for the admin APIs, you're right. There's a combination. It's non-trivial. The API set for admin APIs needs a combination of two-legged and three-legged.
Yep.
So there's a point where you do need, for example, adding members or creating a template from, creating a project from template require both two-legged and three-legged, as well as an admin email address.
Yep.
So it's really high-level permissions. So the data connector side of things is somewhat separate. You're talking about the data connector, right? Where you produce a batch of
specifically
CSV files.
about so an example script that we have that we give to our customers is it allows them to get up all the users of a project and grab their company and role, and then we push that into the account members to update their company and role. Because if you add someone to a project, right, in ACC, it automatically adds them to the account, but it doesn't store their company and role, default role. So they end up having to go update this by hand. And some projects we have like 1,000 people on a project, so it's a lot of people to manually update. So the script just goes through the project, says, all right, this person is this company, and this is their role on the project. Let's make that their account level company and role. So future projects, it automatically uses that. Three-legged works great to get all the project users. But when you go to update an account user, you have to do a two-legged OAuth. It doesn't have three-legged for that. So in Work Auto or ACC Connect, we have to use a combination of a two-legged connector and a three-legged connector. So I was just wondering if there was going to be a built-in Autodesk connector, or if we have to keep using the HTTP connector.
I see. Yeah, so it's basically, is there any updates for Workato?
Yeah.
Right now, that has not been on their roadmap. So it's sort of a convenience function. You need to use both the two-legged connector and the three-legged connector to do that. Or alternatively, as you're doing, just use the HTTP connector and use the raw APIs to work around it.
Yeah, that's what we do. We mostly just do regular API calls, since kind of that functionality is not built into the connector inside of ACC Connect.
Yeah, I can bring that up with the team though, see if they can clean that up.
Yeah, and I'd be happy to meet with them and give them, some ideas for what to add, because yeah, it's pretty limited what's in there right now, and Autodesk is pushing pretty hard on getting people to use the ACC Connect. So yeah, we'd like to see more functionality there for sure.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, would you be interested? Would any of your customers be interested in Workato? In Power Automate instead of Workato?
Yeah, we do both.
Okay.
We do both, but a lot of the regional account managers at Autodesk do like to sell the ACC Connect. So we get a mix of both.
Sounds good. Okay.
Yeah. But speaking of Power Automate, will Autodesk be creating a connector there, or are we still on our own on creating our own connector?
I happen to know someone on this call who might know that answer.
So yeah, so we're planning to one of the talks that we're going to present at AU is going to be about low code, no code, mainly focused on Power Automate.
Okay.
So I think
Can you pull up the talk on the AU website, Peter?
let me see if I can find it. So I don't think that I'm not sure. I don't think there are plans to provide an official data connector or connector for Power Automate.
Okay.
We definitely are planning to help our customers, developers, by with the stuff that we do as the developer advocacy team, which means, we want to give you a GitHub repo where you'll have some tools available for actually setting up these like Power Automate connector quickly and easily. And
Okay.
that talk at AU is actually going to be centered around that effort, us giving developers tools to actually work with, integrate APS with Power Automate. Let me see if I can find that talk. So, there we go. So access your design data from low code, no code platforms. So again, so we want to tackle some of the other options as well for low code, no code in general. But I think mainly this is going to be focused on Power Automate because that's what we see being demanded the most by our customers and developers.
Yeah, the connectors is one of the areas that we spend a lot of time when we develop for other companies, right? Because we have to kind of get in and help them build a connector because you can't, like, we can transfer all the scripting that we create, but they always have to create their own connector. So we spend time helping them do that. Do you think in the future you might be able to provide like a Swagger import that we could use to automatically create a connector with different endpoints or something like that?
So that is something that we actually started discussing internally as well. Because now that the SDK team is actually partially auto-generating the SDKs from OpenAPI specs, one of the related questions is like, could we perhaps, would it make sense for us to maybe expose the specs directly? Because then customers could use it for other use cases, such as Power Automate connectors. So there's no outcome. It's just a discussion we started internally. So we don't have any answers there yet, but me personally, I would really like to see that happen. But of course, I mean, this is a big decision, right? So that we're going to need to have more discussion with more people.
Troy, Troy, what are you coding your scripts in currently? What language?
So we use both. So I mean, we develop our own code too, but to quickly transition, because we do a lot of ACC work.
And what language is that? Is it C# or JavaScript or?
We do both JavaScript, C#, but to do like quick integrations. So for instance, we do a lot of integrations between cost management and an ERP system. So like QuickBooks Online or Acumatica and some of these other ERP platforms. And we use either ACC Connect WorkAuto or Power Automate. We use both of those. It just depends on what the company wants to use as their middleware. And it's a very easy mechanism for us to deliver those scripts to them. Because you can just, export out, it creates a zip file, they import and they get all the scripts. But both of those platforms, neither of them import the connectors. So we always have to, screen share, walk them through how to build their connectors to use those scripts in both platforms. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's not an easy delivery mechanism for that. But if there was an easier way to set those up, especially in Power Automate, because it's a lot more complicated creating the different endpoints that we need to use into the connector, where ACC Connect, the one that Autodesk provides, is great because it's, like I said, for three-legged, you just have the user log in and their script is good to go. The two-legged, we have to walk through and help them set it up, kind of like Power Automate.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah,
But
so
they both work great, by the way. They both work great with the APS APIs. They are very easy to use.
right, so yeah, so I mean, I think we'll make sure to bring your comment and request here to that discussion about potentially opening up the OpenAPI specs.
Okay.
Yeah, but again, no promises. This is, again, important, big decision, and again, we just started talking about this, so we'll see. We'll see where this takes us.
Okay, appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, thank you. There was one question from Jonathan in the chat as well about any plans for or timeframes for SDKs for other languages. As far as I know, we definitely are planning to support more languages moving forward, but I don't think we have any specific timeframes for that. And then Tyler also included a link to our Autodesk Platform Services roadmap. We do mention the here, like extending support for new languages, but I don't think we have any comments or likes on these, so I'm not sure which one's going to be the next. And more importantly, I don't think we have any commitment to like, specific timeframes. I don't think.
Yeah, I can just add here.
Yes.
No specific time frame, that's for sure, but the next target will be Java.
Java, okay.
So, yeah, I'm the one who actually pushes Python, but no, they decided to.
I was
to
gonna
go on
say, I was
Java.
like, are you the one pushing for Java? Because I don't think that's the case. I would imagine you'd be the one pushing for Go. Is that right? But I don't see that on the list.
Yeah, no.
So Java
I'm
is,
back to Python.
yeah.
I'd
So
be
Java-
pushing for Python as well.
Yeah, I mean, Python for me, I don't know, but that's just my subjective opinion, would be the obvious next language. But again, there might be different.
You will be surprised with the amount of Java users that we have.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is very subjective on my part. So you guys are saying that basically,
I mean, lines of code. Yeah, absolutely. Java is just like so verbose. That's why it's coming up on the
That's why it's
stats. Jaime.
if you measure by
Yeah.
lines
There's
of
only
code.
one Java user, but they're just like 1000x lines of
Come
code.
on.
Wow.
No, it's not that.
I hope we don't have any Java developers on the call here. All right,
I'm a former Java developer, so
but that's okay. Former is fine. I mean.
yeah.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you so much. We're a little bit beyond our scheduled time. So unless there are any final questions, comments, I think we can wrap up. And I want to thank you all for joining us today. Thank you, my team, for your help. And we'll see you again next time.
Yeah, and thanks you, Peter.
Thanks,
for
Peter.
hosting.
Thanks, everyone.
All right. Thank you guys. You take care.
Bye.
Thank you.